Hello everyone. This video is on Brahmananda Saraswati of Jyotir Math, who is Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's guru. And so for those of you who have been given a mantra from the TM organization, this gentleman here, I call him a gentleman, but we don't even know what he is. He represents eternal silence, but this being, this Maha Siddha, this huge consciousness that came through Guru Dev, is a real gift to humanity because he gave us the technology of transcending, of moving beyond suffering, of moving beyond a limited perception of being a human with a storyline and a body that disintegrates and passes. He gave us the understanding that we are infinite, that we are also divine and eternal silence. And when we meditate, when we're given technology to drop into stillness, we recognize that's who we are. Fundamentally, we are eternal silence. We're not our storylines, we're not our names, we're not our past, we're not our bodies, we are eternal silence, and we're all interconnected in this eternal silence. And it's difficult sometimes to put into words what Guru Dev is, because he is eternal silence. And so you need to have a direct experience of that. And what you're experiencing is your essential nature, your identity beyond what the mind tells you your identity is. And when you connect to who you are truly, eternally, it relieves an ocean of misery, an ocean of suffering. It dissolves all ignorance. It creates waves of bliss. It integrates stillness into your activity. So anything that you decide you're doing, it's not personal, it's universal. So your desires become connected to the desires of all beings and what's good for all beings. It's not like you're an individual anymore. And when I was given my mantra, I felt an immense connection to Guru Dev, and this happens sometimes for some people. And I can try to put it into words, but I'm not sure it will do adequate justice to it. It can't do adequate justice, but I will try. When I was given my mantra, I felt an immediate connection to Guru Dev. And when I talk about Guru Dev, I mean eternal stillness. So when you get infused with this internal stillness, everything that the mind has told you is true, and who you are and where you're going and your storyline and any suffering you're attached to or any identity or ego you're attached to, it kind of gets like obliterated. And in the moment where you transcend and enter that eternal silence, there is a seed that is planted that you will never forget. And the seed contains all of the information of the entire universe and beyond, and your relationship to it. And so it starts to sort of unfold, but everything that you're going to do, anything that you need to know, any cities that might occur afterwards which are unique to you, is all given to you in that moment. we sometimes think we're on a spiritual journey and we're going somewhere on a path to somewhere and we're going to do something and then we're going to get it. But when you are given that eternal silence through the mantra and it's seeded and there is a connection to Guru Dev, you're given everything immediately in that one moment. And so I knew that I had been given everything in that moment and I didn't need to spiritually seek anymore. I wasn't going to be given anything else. I was given everything in that moment. It's like if an oak tree is going to grow into this massive oak tree, we know it's going to be a massive oak tree because the seed has been planted, so it's inevitable that it's going to grow into a massive oak tree. And so when I was given my mantra, I knew intuitively that I'd been given everything that I needed and I didn't need to search anymore. I didn't need to go look for gurus. I didn't need to go do a load of advanced things or feel like I didn't have what I required to relieve any suffering. I knew, okay, I've been given everything I need. I just will relax and let it unfold. And there is a grace to the process. And it understands, the intelligence within the seed understands that if you rush, you miss the bliss. So it will not blast you into a unity state immediately, which you can't integrate. It will have a gentle process of maybe you have flashes of unity and then they're integrated slowly. And so you don't feel overwhelmed, because if you were to see reality as it is straight away, it might cause a bit of a discomfort in the nervous system or a discombobulation. So it's very gentle. It just slowly shifts you every minute, every hour, every day, every month into a higher state. So you don't even notice it's happening. And somebody mentioned to me about writing a journal to document any experiences I was having, which I found really helpful because it just becomes so normal. The physiology changes, it adapts to house the stillness. And there is a phase that some people go through where they feel such immense gratitude for what they've received that they just naturally bow down before the guru. So when they see a picture of Guru Dev, or they see Guru Dev, or they hear the words Jai Guru Dev, the heart space opens and their body drops forward. And it's not a mental process. So it's a heart-based process where it just naturally occurs and the body moves forward and bows down. When a tree is full of fruits, when it's been given all these fruits, the weight of the fruits is heavy and the tree just bows down. And so when you're given this connection to eternal silence, when you're given everything to relieve your suffering, when you're given the knowledge that you're interconnected with everything and you don't need to feel alone, there's such gratitude for the relief of not feeling like an individual anymore, and to have your heart space return back into a unified state with everything, that you just collapse forward and bow down. And so that's where bowing actually comes from. It's seen as a sign of respect to gurus or a sign of respect when you go into churches, but actually it initially comes from just a physiological reaction to extreme gratitude that causes the body to drop forward. And so We have a Guru Puja, which is a sign of gratitude to the Guru, where we understand that everything that we have is not from us individually, it was given to us from something which is much greater than an individual. And so the ego gets destroyed. It's not like I am enlightened, I have these special abilities. There's none of that. It's understood that the eternal stillness is what we are, and the eternal stillness is what everybody else is, and the eternal stillness is what Guru Dev is, and he is just reminding us of who we are and destroying all of the fear, because it's very fearful when you feel like you're a separate individual. It's terrifying, because if you're a separate individual, then there's something outside of you that can harm you. And the gratitude and just the relief of knowing, no, I am in everything, I am connected to everything, and I don't need to feel alone, and my suffering can be removed. There's such gratitude and relief. And so the bowing is like gratitude mixed with relief, and sometimes tears fall down the face. When I was given my mantra, I don't know, I just cried and cried and cried. It wasn't tears of joy, it wasn't tears of sorrow, it was just tears of gratitude and relief and stillness kind of mixed together. I don't have a word, maybe there's a Sanskrit word for it. I'm not a Sanskrit expert, but if there are Sanskrit experts out there, they'll probably know that this word encapsulates what that is. And so even if you haven't had an experience like this, know that fundamentally you are eternal stillness. Fundamentally you are bliss consciousness, Satchitananda, eternal bliss consciousness. Fundamentally you are Guru Dev, your eternal stillness. And these gurus, these teachers, they act as mirrors. They mirror and they show you who you are. So when you're given a mantra and it's infused with the guru, or you are walking in the forest and you have an experience of unity, or you're at church and you feel connected to Jesus, it it's acting as a mirror. Jesus is acting as a mirror, showing you what you are. And there is said in the Bible, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that's what God is. God is the eternal stillness, and your fundamental nature is eternal stillness. Gurudev was in the forest for many, many years, just putting his attention on the stillness in the atmosphere, and then cognizing these sounds that have no specific meaning but have effects on the nervous system, that when they're thought in an effortless way, enable the human physiology to transcend and to experience stillness, the direct reality. You get impressed upon by the direct reality, and the direct reality is eternal stillness, Satchitananda, bliss consciousness. And it is blissful when you move around in stillness, when the stillness is integrated into your physiology. It can create waves of bliss that come and flow. And there's a part of you that just kind of goes on autopilot. When I was given my mantra, I realized I didn't know anything. There was like a wiping of everything that I previously thought I was or thought I knew about the world, and there was a reset. And then there was this beginner's mind that I was starting afresh. I was reborn into this world where I didn't know where I was going. I remember previously I thought, oh, I'll do another film. I'm an actress. I'm a model. I'm going to do this. I'm going to achieve that. Or I'm going to go and study this and study that. And I understand why. That was all obliterated. And there was a reset. And then I was just spontaneously doing things that I knew were not really part of my egoic design. And there's a real relief when you don't have to think about what to do yourself. Because I think a lot of people, they're like thinking in their limited minds, what should I do? And how can I make a difference? Or they're pushing against something, or they're beating themselves up. And then there's this kind of release, and you don't have to decide for yourself. Things get done to you. You just go, well, I'm going here, and I don't know why I'm going here. I just know I have to go here, and I'm being called to go here. And there was a period where the remnants of my egoic construct was a little bit unhappy that I was wandering around not making films or being productive or doing shoots. It's like, Aruna, what are you doing? You're wasting your life. What are you doing just walking in the park and not making money and just enjoying yourself for now? But I knew that I needed to do that, and I wasn't to go back to the film industry and do that. My ego wanted me to go back to the film industry. It wanted me to do that. But the eternal stillness had another plan, and so there was a period of, I would say, 3 years where the egoic construct was grasping and trying its hardest to pull me back to do more films. It didn't win because it's not as powerful as the stillness. And because it was seated in that moment, I was never going to go back and do that. And I had to go on a journey doing something else, which is way more interesting in a different way. And it's very much about living in the moment and not having a plan as well when that happens. You just have to trust that it's all going to work out and there's a plan that's been decided for you. And when you're in an egoic construct, you try and make the plan yourself. Whereas when you have the grace of being infused with the stillness, you have the courage to be in an unknown space. And because you have the courage to not know, but you have the trust, because when you get attached to a guru, which is so powerful like Guru Dev, or you get infused with this connection through the eternal stillness, it does give you courage. It gives you faith. It gives you the ability to go against what you were programmed maybe to do by a culture or a society or things that are very competitive or lack based. And so that also fills you with gratitude because it's like, wow, I feel resilient in a different way because when I had my egoic construct that was controlling everything that I was doing, it's a very fear-based system that's got its grips on you. It's like you can't do that, you're not safe, you have to do this, you need to compete, you need to do. You are not a human being, you are a human doer, and it has to go if you want to stop suffering. And so that process happened, and that's another reason why we feel so grateful, because that grip, when it's kind of let go, we can finally relax. When the ego's got its grip on you and you don't have any stillness, it's not a nice place to be in. And as you age, you fight against the aging, you compete with other people, you constantly feel like you haven't got enough, and it hijacks. And when you get hijacked to that degree, there is no stillness. So a return to the identity beyond all of that relieves in such a profound way this suffering that the human race is afflicted with. And that's why we're so grateful to these teachers, Jesus, Guru Dev, Muhammad, whoever it is that came into a human body and showed us, mirrored the eternal stillness. And Gurudev's a Jagat Guru, which means he gave people technology that they could contact inner stillness effortlessly. They didn't need to be around him physically. They didn't need to be around a guru. He's a Jagat Guru. He gives you technology, transcendental meditation, a mantra where you can use that yourself, and you're in total control of your enlightenment. Like once you've given it, you've been given that seed, there's nothing else. You're always connected to Guru Dev. I feel eternally connected to Guru Dev. That's why I often say Jai Guru Dev at the end of every single video, because everything I say on my channel is not from me, it's not from Aruna, it's coming from Guru Dev, it's coming from an eternal still place that is nothing to do with Aruna individually. And so I pray that everybody finds eternal stillness in whatever way is meant for them, and that they are returned to their natural state of calm, and they realize how powerful they are and who they are behind and beyond the mind and the body, so that they don't need to be afraid of death. There is no such thing as death when you are eternal stillness. It's just a returning back to yourself without the physical constraints of a body. May we all feel connected to each other, do no harm to each other, and respect the differences in the personalities and the preferences of one another.